Welcome to another episode of Irish from 3. I'm Jason Holcomb, joined right now by girls head coach Evan Jefferson. Coach, Lady Irish keep moving up in the polls. Excited to see that. I believe we're number 3 right now in the latest GHSA poll. I know that's not what you guys are focusing on, but it's always nice to be able to celebrate the hard work that you guys are putting in. Continue to be working hard in the region and picked up a gigantic win against Wilcox County last week. Talk about this last week and some of the things that the girls have been doing that are getting us in position to start making a playoff run.
They're definitely getting locked in. They're focused on one game at a time. We beat a very tough Wilcox team last Friday. They were also ranked, and they went pretty far last year in single A playoffs. So we stressed it all week to the girls, and they came in, had a good week of practice, and they were ready to roll Friday, and we got the dub.
And I noticed also during that span, one of our top players, Brianna McCray, had a really big game and a really big moment. I know for you to see your biggest players making big moves in big games has to mean a lot as well.
Definitely. Wilcox came with a game plan to try and stop her and make the other players beat her. And through boxing one, she still finished with 27 points, 10 rebounds, 7 steals. We just really told her she had a good first half, and at halftime we told her, hey, go ahead and just take over now and lead us to victory. And that's what she did in the second half.
Well, that's what you want to see out of your senior leaders. And while we're talking about Brianna, let's go ahead and check out our Optim Player of the Week. Well, Coach, I kind of preempted myself there by talking about her ahead of the Player of the Week, but it's just so neat to see people coming into their own, and not just Brianna. I'm seeing a lot of the girls starting to come into their own, and I know for you, seeing that cohesiveness is going to be real crucial as we head into the stretch run and into the playoffs.
Definitely. Terriana Wilburn is definitely stepping up big. A couple weeks she was top 5 in the nation in blocks. She's really controlling the boards. Her sister Tabria is definitely being a pest on the defense.
That's what you want.
And now we're getting her to finally start shooting the ball. She has a nice jump shot. She's starting to shoot it. She's being aggressive. All the freshmen, whenever they come in, they contribute in some form or fashion. And Janiyah Koo, she's been great for us all year. She's usually takes over the ball handling duties, but she just does everything that the coaches ask. So we can't ask for anything better than that.
Well, one thing that we can ask for is your support, and we're going to need it this week because we've got a lot of crazy games, some makeup games coming in there, a couple of home games to wrap things up. We're going to be closing out with Wilcox here at home next week for senior night. Want to make sure that you guys come and check that out. But Coach, when you've got so many games, do you feel like that's a good thing because that's what you're going to be doing in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it prepares us for the playoffs. Like I said, but earlier in the year when we played, a couple weeks ago, we played 4 games in a row. The girls they would probably prefer playing games than doing a lot of practicing. But we try and mix in, things that we want to work on to prepare us for the playoffs during all these games, just to get us ready.
Now, Friday we play Telfair, and then Saturday Hawkinsville, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, and the Hawkinsville game has a weird tip time, isn't that right?
It's at 3 p.m.
Yeah, so if you guys head to Hawkinsville, don't plan on heading there that evening. You'll be getting there about the time everybody else is going home to get something to eat. So make sure if you're going to go support the Irish and the Lady Irish this Saturday that you get to Hawkinsville early. All the tickets for all the away games, they're going to be sold at the door. Some have ticket limitations, so be aware of that. Be mindful so that you can get there and support the team. This is the time of year where we really need that support. Obviously, we've got 2 home games next week, and we want you guys to come out and support the teams. If you want to come, Eventbrite's where you go. If you want to support us but aren't in a position to come, NFHS is where you're going to go for the broadcast. And Coach, I know for you this year, we've been able to have, when we say a packed house, it's not a traditional packed house, but it seems like we've been getting a lot of support. And as your first year here, I know this is kind of strange, but what have you seen out of the fans this year that makes you feel good?
It's very supportive. It's like a one humongous family, I should say. They're all about the Irish, that's for sure. And it's good that we're winning games. Seeing a lot of new faces. People see me around town. I don't even know who they are. Coach, you're doing a great job. Like, that's a really good feeling. That's what I like to hear. So.
Well, we want to make sure that you guys support the Lady Irish as they continue this big push. We want to see them out all the way to the very end. Remember, Eventbrite's where you go to purchase those tickets. NFHS is where you're going to go for the live stream. And when we come back, we'll be meeting with boys head coach Ben Smith on Irish from 3. Welcome back to Irish from 3. I'm Jason Holcomb, and I'm now joined by boys head coach Ben Smith and the number 2 ranked Fighting Irish. Polls shifted a little bit, even though we just keep winning, but hey, we're not worried about that. We're just going to keep doing our thing. Coach, got a big win last night against Wheeler County to keep that region record perfect heading into this final week of the season. What have you seen out of the boys over the last couple of weeks, because it's been a while since we've been on the show, that shows you that we're starting to make that transition into that playoff mindset?
Just taking care of us, and to keep it simple. The guys, they're doing a great job of just going and trying to play to our level of expectation of basketball, not worrying about who we play or where we play, whether it be home or away, or we playing Wheeler or Wilcox or a top team in the region or one with not that many wins. We're just going with the same approach to play our style of basketball, and that's what we've been focusing on. That's how we've been successful.
Well, you talk all the time about being a wolf, and we got to keep being wolves here for these next couple of weeks. This is where it's going to matter the most. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and check out our Optim Player of the Week. Coach, obviously Dooley game was a real gritty, dirty, ugly game. Probably something that you're liable to see in the playoffs where people start hunkering down with the defense. And I know there was one play in particular that you just kept celebrating right around half court where there was a tussle with the ball. We end up with the ball, we score, and it's because of that tenacity. Talk about that one play and how that encapsulates exactly what you're wanting to see out of the guys moving ahead.
Well, that one play was really just a microcosm of the team from maybe the first 5-6 minutes. After the first 5-6 minutes of the game, Dooley's a really tough team at home. They have a traditional winning. They had won 21 straight at home. So they came out with a lot of energy against us, and were really, for the 5 or 6 minutes, dominating the effort and getting a lot of offensive rebounds. And our guys just responded, and that's one of the things I'm always going to be proud of, because we didn't shoot well that game at all. And lately we've been winning by big margins most of the game. So it was good to see that we can win an ugly game. And the guys were really comfortable playing it. It wasn't like we didn't get frustrated because we weren't making shots. We had a lot of open shots that we just missed that we normally make, but the guys can get frustrated. They just locked in even more on defense. And that play was just, like I said, a microcosm of that. We had a steal and then a dunk. Then you can see the bench get up, the other guys get ignited. Then JT Wright, he's a great defender, steals the ball, gets another layup, and you see everybody come off and if I can't remember all the way, but I don't even think we probably had like one starter in at the time. So those guys were coming off the bench, even though I feel we have 10 or 11 starters, we just choose to pick that game. But that type of fight and that type of hunger and passion is what Dublin High School basketball is about more than scoring 85 points and 70 points, winning by 30. These are the type of games you're going to get later on. So it was great to see those guys thrive in that role.
I loved it. I even texted you and told you how I loved how it felt like they were putting that fear of failure behind them. They're not worried about failing. They just want to come out here and play, and they're not worried about what you're doing. They're going to come bring what they want to do, and that to me is awesome. Well, we have to keep that same attitude as we head into this final week of the regular season and get ready for the postseason. Again, it's kind of a weird setup. The Hawkinsville game for this weekend tips, what, 4:30? It's
probably around 4:30.
It's kind of a weird thing, but it's just the way this is for, as long as we're with COVID-19, this is what it's going to be. But we've got a handful of games next week. Wilcox County will come to town. for our final home regular season game. We're going to have senior night. Want to make sure that people participate and celebrate these seniors because they obviously have played a phenomenal role in getting us to where we currently are. But Coach, in this last week, you've got a pile of games. Some of them are going to be tests again before we head in the region tournament. What are the things that you want to see out of the guys to make sure that we're still staying focused heading into that region tournament?
Business as usual. Business as usual. I mean, like I said earlier, I think they're doing a great job of it. It's not worrying about who we play and where we play or what's on the line. They understand we're the #1 team in the region, and Matt's Preps, we're the #1 team in the state, and another publication #2. So everybody's coming here with a big game. So we have bigger goals, and I mean, especially to be teenagers, they're doing a great job, and we have leaders keeping us focused game at a game. They do a really good job of resetting. We play one game, play well or play bad, let it go the next day at practice or next game we're trying to play better and get better. So we'll just keep that same approach. That's pretty much it. I mean, you understand, we just one day, one game at a time. I mean, it's cliche, but we really live in that right now.
Well, that's all you can do, and once we get beyond the regular season, obviously it is one game at a time. You don't get promised anything else after that. But we want to make sure that you're supporting the Irish and the Lady Irish all season long. The places to go are Eventbrite for all of our tickets, and then if you're not able to come but want to participate, NFHS is where you'll go for that. Subscribe to that. Mr. Ellenberg and his staff do a fantastic job. The cool thing about NFHS is you can watch it again. It's on demand. So if your child has a great game, you can watch that game 50 times if you want to. You can rewind and hit fast forward, because that's what everybody likes to do these days. They're all about those highlights. But Coach, before we wrap things up, it's been a long time. I mean, a long time. And with the weather being all kind of strange right now, we needed to make sure that we got a good forecast for this last week of the regular season. And so without further ado, here's another episode of The Weather with Willie T.
My God. My God. Hey, welcome to another episode of Irish for 3, and I am your host, Willie T. Howard. Hey, first off, before I even start the weather forecast for the week, I just want to give a great round of applause to the men and women of the Dublin High basketball team. They have been doing an outstanding job. I didn't call those guys the sweepers because they have been sweeping away the competition. It isn't fair. Hey, another shout out to my boy Ben Smith. He has gotten the boys to #1 in the state of Georgia. And last time I checked, the girls #6, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. We could be higher. Evan Jefferson, I see you, baby, and I like your beard. I'm trying to match your fly. Hey, Saturday, we'll be going down to Hawkinsville, Georgia to face the Hawkinsville Red Devils. Hawkinsville, Georgia, 25, 30 minutes in a row. Come on down. It's going to be a little 56ers. So that's why I got my sheep on and the turtleneck. If you need to borrow it, go to H&M. You can't get mine. And Tuesday, we'll be going against the Telfair Trojans. It will be about 50 degrees. So you might want to bundle up. Because you see, that's why my voice is a little raspy, because I'm a little cold. Hey, like I said, come out and enjoy Saturday in Hawkinsville and Tuesday against Telfair. Hey, come out and give the guys support. We're ranked in the state. The new Dublin is in here. Ben Smith, Evan Jefferson, and we all we got. And I'm gone. My God. My God.
All right, Coach. We've been kind of driving blind here for the last couple weeks, not knowing what's going to happen next, no forecast, no nothing. A couple times my man hit me up and was like, I got you. And then later on I get a text, I can't. I don't know, you know Willie better than I know him. I just got to know him this year. But tell me a little bit what we got going on here with Willie T.
Well, at T&D, we're all about accountability. So if Willie T can't give us the weather report, he has whatever he's been doing on pretty a bunch of nothing besides lifting some weights. We're going to have to put somebody in his spot. I think I have somebody in mind, but we'll keep it to ourselves. So, Willie, we need more consistent weather report. You're replaceable, my guy.
Well, here it's all about what are you doing for us? It's all about results. We're results oriented here at Dublin, and we want to make sure that the results are coming out for these young men. So coming up in this next week, there's a pile of games, couple of them at home, and then we're gonna have region tournament. Be sure to support these kids. Like and share all the stuff that they're being celebrated on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure to participate in the broadcast on NFHS. Buy tickets and come support these Irish. I'm telling y'all, this is something special. I've only seen something like this happen with the men and women once. I'd like to see it happen twice, and maybe even something better than happened the last time. And again, thank you always for watching Irish from 3.